News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
Miss you, the key word is safety. I'm Cody Boyer in Bozeman, talking with officials on how they are preparing for the fall semester, both students and faculty alike.
Each member of the Montana University system dealing with their own unique challenges around COVID-19. I'm Chet Lehman. Coming up, we're going to talk to the folks at Montana Western about their unique way of handling back to school safely here in Dillon.
As the start of the school year looms, one of the biggest challenges facing districts across the country is how to handle kids while on a bus. Social distancing in confined spaces like this is nearly impossible. Tomorrow morning, though, we show you some ideas that will help keep your kids safe.
We have a lot to talk about there. 6:30 back here in Montana This Morning. Caitlin Corbett and Matt Elwell. Critical stretch of weather kind of coming up here. Hot, dry.
It really is, and we're getting toward the heart of where we worry about fire season and looking at the conditions for the next few days. This could really steer us. I think you made a good point. Temperatures holding into the 40s and 50s for most of the area. 39 in West Yellowstone. A little fog in West Yellowstone from some showers and thunderstorms rolling through yesterday afternoon, early evening. Dropping about 0.4 of an inch, just shy of that yesterday. Beautiful morning. The sunrise is going to be fabulous. I'm going to jump back so I can show you the temperature layout here today. Mid to upper 80s to low 90s for most of the area. We'll see light wind and very few clouds. We'll break down your complete forecast, talk about some opportunities to see the International Space Station coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. This morning we continue our series, Safely Back to School. We take a look at one of the biggest challenges facing districts right now, what to do with school buses. With poor air circulation and no room to social distance, health officials are worried that buses will be the perfect place for COVID-19 to spread, even eventually to students who don't ride the bus. So Chris Conti is taking a closer look at some solutions that could keep your kids safe.
If the wheels on the bus go round and round, then you could say the thoughts spinning in Cheryl Merritt's mind right now are moving just as fast.
I just want all the kids on the bus to stay safe, and all the drivers.
32 years as a bus driver, she's driven in every kind of weather condition imaginable. But this is the first time she's driven during a pandemic.
Getting sick, and I don't want to get sick.
As she reflects on the year ahead, Cheryl can only think about the virus. She's 61 years old and, like drivers nationwide, is terrified of catching COVID from kids on her bus.
I don't want this. I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die, you know?
But perhaps the biggest challenge with school buses is trying to figure out how to keep kids socially distant while in a confined space. When fully loaded with kids, most school buses fit about 77 students. Cramming students into a bus, though, would be a perfect place for COVID to spread. So the CDC is advising bus companies to have only one student per bench, taking some bus capacity down to about 12 kids, meaning school districts would need to run double or triple the number of trips each day just to pick every child up.
I just can't imagine how we can do it. There's only so much space in a bus.
David Strong is a school transportation expert. He says even if schools wanted to run more buses, they couldn't because of a nationwide driver shortage. So they're having to get creative with start times.
There are just so many questions and really no answers.
Another concern, kids won't follow social distancing or mask rules once they're on a bus. As a result, many districts are adding bus monitors to routes. And in an effort to help with air circulation, some states are requiring bus windows be open year-round.
It doesn't really matter what you're going to do with kids once you get them to school. You have to get them there first.
When you go to stop and pick up a child, look at them, make sure they don't look sickly or they're coughing.
As for Cheryl Merritt, she and other drivers are just preparing to be flexible so that students can return safely back to school. I'm Chris Conti reporting.
And tonight at 5:30, MTN's Gabby Crevitt looks into how local school buses will be used and kept safe for kids when classes resume this fall. So if your child does attend a public school, you have a decision to make. Do you send your children back to the classroom, hopefully prepared for the risks, or do you keep them home and keep having them learn by remote? MTN talked with a Bozeman parent who made the choice by sitting down with her 3 teenagers and talking it out.
We had a good, solid discussion about what this looks like for them and the possibilities, and did they want to stay home and do some remote learning, and all 3 of them that are going to high school this year said absolutely not. They want to go. They want to come back and have friends and have fun. And do want to give a shout out to teachers. They have their job cut out for them this year, and if we can be supportive and caring towards them, some of them are actually going to be working the equivalent of 2 jobs because they'll be doing a combination of remote learning as well as in-classroom learning.
So if you have any questions about the safety precautions being taken by Kids School, be sure to call your school district or visit the school's website. And there are just a few weeks left before students start classes at Montana State University. MSU officials say preparing to welcome students and faculty back safely is a priority. MTN's Cody Boyer shows us what those students and faculty will see when they come back in a socially distanced way.
Montana State University officials say safety is more than a key word, especially when preparing for students to return for the fall semester amid a pandemic. So, courses may look a little different than they ever have before.
The attitude and the atmosphere is optimistic with precautions.
Using a method that many new and returning students will face this fall, MSU spokesman Michael Becker broke it all down for me. Becker says there will be a lot to take in for both students and faculty.
Social distancing, face mask requirements. Basically, every corner of campus has seen some sort of adaptation.
As for students, the first things they may notice will be all around them.
You'll see a lot of signs all over campus reminding them of the good practices that they can undertake on their own.
Masks will be required, as we now know, something the university will help with in the form of safe cat kits for students and staff.
They'll have hand sanitizer, face mask, and some disinfectant. Those are going to be available all over campus at a number of pickup locations.
Hand cleaning stations will stand across campus too. Becker says expertise from the health department and other healthcare experts elsewhere will also help every step of the way, including keeping personal health issues confidential. A key for instructors being ready to change up their classes to remote or online.
We're counting very much on their expertise and all of their skill in the classroom to make this semester a success. We really couldn't do it without them.
So as the unprecedented continues to be just that, MSU will work to keep up.
It's proud to be part of an organization that has put so much effort, so much care, and so much preparation into something.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
The Montana University system has spent the past 4+ months preparing for what school will look like this fall. Our Chet Lehman explains how that will work.
While students across the university system were working out what classes they will take, those at Montana Western and Dillon are working out what class. The Experience One curriculum has been a positive for the Dillon campus when it comes to dealing with COVID-19.
When all of this started back in March, and we all went remote, we realized very quickly that Experience One was an asset, and in that we are so much more flexible. Our students didn't have to have 4 or 5 classes interrupted. Our faculty, when we prepared to suddenly go remote, had to prepare 1 class at that point, and that made a huge difference.
For new and returning students this fall, life will be different. But faculty and staff are also working to keep that truly unique character of Western alive through all the adaptations needed for dealing with a worldwide pandemic.
Throughout, even though we have been very preoccupied with planning and logistics and hand sanitizer, we made a really conscious decision to continue with the initiatives that we think are really important to build on the promise of Experience One.
The curriculum plan here at Montana Western may be different than any other in the Montana University system. But when it comes to COVID-19, this campus will be following the same rules as all the other campuses. That includes face masks. Here on this campus, however, those face masks will be a little different. They'll be personally made right here on the campus by one of the staff members. What started out as a project for family and friends has grown into a 400 mask order for incoming freshmen and a campus and community project.
Now it's like I'm panicked because I got to get them done before the students arrive, but you know, I'll get there. And you know, the residents' life people are helping me cut them out, so I don't have to do that part. My husband cut all the elastics, so I've got to help doing it.
Eberling says she's honored and excited to see her masks around campus. She says it's her way of helping do the right thing.
This is to help me and other people. I mean, I'm one of those people that want to wear a mask, and I'm trying to get everybody to wear one, so this is the way to do it.
For Chancellor Weatherby, it's all about the students. This fall will be different, but she's looking forward to having them back on campus.
They're here for something that is intrinsically so good, and it's exciting, and they talk to you about it, and I can't wait.
In Dillon, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
In other news this morning, the Montana Department of Transportation is urging anyone who lives near or travels Highway 84 east of Norris to participate in a virtual open house meeting on Wednesday, August 5th. MDT is conducting a study on the highway to figure out how to make it safer and wants public input. Several options the department is considering are cutting into the hillside, realigning the curves, and looking at potential structures and tunnels.
Right now, the consultant has been mostly doing like field work, and so between the public input and our field work and everything that the consultant's done, we'll be able to hopefully start identifying potential solutions that they can evaluate further.
There will be 2 Zoom sessions available, one at 11 a.m., another at 5:30 p.m. Participants must register for a session, and again, that's Wednesday, August 5th. Meantime, firefighters continue to fight the Horseshoe Fire located about 10 miles southwest of POLSON. That fire was reported shortly before 2 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon along the Flathead River. At last report, that fire is estimated at 20 acres with 0% containment. There are no evacuations and no structures are threatened right now. The MAGPIE rock fire burning west of DIXON has now grown to 1,200 acres with gusty winds last night. There are no evacuations and again, no structures are threatened. Something we'll have to keep following as we continue into this hot and dry weather. 6:41 now, we're going to take another commercial break, but up next, a well-known coronavirus symptom is the loss of smell. After the break, we'll learn what scientists are saying about why that happens. First though, here's a look ahead at what's happening on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the national debate over reopening schools intensifies while the U.S. death toll from the coronavirus surpasses 150,000 people. How local officials are reacting to this grim milestone. Also, parenting in the pandemic. Hear from parents across the country making changes to their everyday lives as they adapt to the new normal of education and work at home during this crisis. We hear it's not fun. And NASA's high-stakes mission looking for past life on Mars. Want to go? See how the newest rover will collect Martian rock samples so they can eventually be brought back to Earth. We'll see you at 7 o'clock on the dot.